Hi everyone, welcome to Love, Laugh, Live My Life. Tonight we are going to be going over on how to make a scarf. I've got my niece Jasmine here who's always wanted to learn how to knit a scarf. I'm going to be using a knitting loom, a knitting hook, and then of course the yarn. It's going to be a pretty simple video. It's going to show you real fast how to do everything, and my niece is going to give it a try while we're doing it. So first you're going to want to make your cast on loop, which I'm going to try to get as close as I can. You're just going to take your two fingers, wrap it around, kind of make like a little loop, and then stick the tail through. You're going to cast it on to the end of your knitting loom. Tie it on like that. And then this is the fun part. This is where the wrapping begins. You're going to take your yarn. You're going to want to give yourself enough slack. And I usually unwrap it about 5 to 10 times. Gives yourself enough slack to do a whole row. We're going to do a skinny scarf tonight. So I usually count out about 10 of the hooks or the stems. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I put my fingers right here so I know not to go past that. You're going to get your yarn and you're going to do an 8. It's going to be in the shape of the number 8. And pretty much, I'm going to try to get as close as I can here. You're going to start on the outside one. You're going to go take your yarn and go on the inside, wrap it around to the one directly across from it. And you're going to wrap the yarn on the outside, around, and cross to the next one. And you're going to go on the outside, wrap around, outside, all the way across to the width that you want it. Once you get there, you're going to push it off to the side. I hold on to it with my thumb because you're going to want to push the first row down. Make sure it goes all the way down. And then you're going to pick the yarn back up. It's going to go straight across. You're going to wrap on the outside and then go across to the one directly across from it. Wrap around. And this time it's going to go on the other side of it. You're just going to wrap it all the way around. And again, you're making the number 8 all the way around. And then when you get to the end, you're going to again pull it off to the side. Just hold it with your finger. Then you're going to grab your knitting hook and you're going to lift the bottom up and over. I usually start with where I ended so that it holds it in place. So you're just going to lift up and over, and then this way it holds your slack in place so it doesn't come unraveled, because it will come unraveled. So you're just going to go up and over on both sides. And it's going to look a little loose in the beginning until you get about 4 or 5 rows going. But it'll be nice and strong on the bottom. So do you want to give it a try, Jasmine? You're going to start this way with it straight and then wrap. Grab it. There you go. Go. Okay, so we want to keep this pushed down. You're going to go that side and then to this one on the other side. There you go. It's not as easy as I make it look. It does take practice. I have been doing this for about 6 years now. I first started when I was sick and it gave my hands something to do. Like I said in one of my other videos, I'm a crafter. So my hands are always busy, and I usually do this when I'm watching TV, if I'm not doing one of my other games. Awesome. And then you're going to grab your knitting hook, and you're going to want to do this one first because it's going to hold your slack in place. There you go. And it's going to feel really loose, and like I said, don't worry about it feeling loose. It's supposed to. It'll get stronger as you do the rows. And you'll figure out how to hold it to what is best comfortable for you, and then you're going to push them all down. And push the hole down. And it's going to come through the bottom. Awesome. So then you're going to keep going. I'm just going to do it a little bit faster over here. Yeah, that's good. Sorry, my friend is helping with the recording. So like I said, you're going to want to keep doing the slack. I usually do one side at a time. It's just my preference. You can do whatever is best for you and how fast you want to go or how slow. Like I said, it took me a long time to master this. If your yarn is really thin, I would recommend getting 2 spools of it, because you don't want a really super thin scarf. It's not going to work out that great. But the yarn that we're using is a super soft, thick yarn. By the way, if you do want to give this a try in time for fall and winter, I definitely recommend going to Joann's right now. They are celebrating their 75 years, and everything is like 75 to 80% off. So it's like really good time to get some yarn. Coupons are always a thing with Joann's and Michael's. It's primarily where I get my yarn. It's where I usually get my knitting supplies as well. Yeah, it fell on the floor. That's okay. So you're just going to want to keep going, and I'm just trying to get it to be long enough so I can show you what to do with the cast on, so that you can see that part, because eventually you will take that cast on part off and kind of blend it into the scarf. And see, it's pushing through, and it looks like it is a little loose, but eventually it won't look like that. And you can make the scarf as wide as you want and as long as you want. They do have smaller looms like this one that's perfect for this kind of scarf. I know the skinny scarves are in, and then like the big fat cowl neck scarves, which I'll do another video on because those are really fun to do and super cute, and I just have fun doing them. So we'll just keep going. So do you think, if I leave you yarn and stuff, do you think you can do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
So if I leave you yarn, and then next week you'll have a scarf already made to show?
Maybe not that fast, but yeah.
I think you can. It's brilliant. A scarf doesn't take that long. Depends on how long you want it done. I could usually do a scarf in a night, about 2 to 4 hours. Just depends on how long I want it to go. And keep pushing down. Put this down. I'm going to give myself a little bit more slack because I'm getting a little tangled up here. There we go. And don't be surprised if your yarn gets all knotted up. It's gonna happen. Happens all the time. It's just part of the fun of knitting with yarn. And I'm just gonna undo this because that'll probably be the best way to handle this. Or not. So, yeah, we'll just leave it like that. Alright. So we'll do like 1 or 2 more rows, and then I'll show you how to blend in the cast on. And you can see as it gets longer, it just pushes through the opening. I know a lot of people use the knitting needles. I personally don't, because I will forget. It kind of makes me a little sleepy at times, but I will forget what cast on I'm on, or what loop or purl or whatever you got to do with the needles, and this allows me to keep it straight, even, and it doesn't matter where I'm at in it because it's the same design. And I'll show other videos with different designs on the way it looks and all that fun stuff. So I did about...
One didn't go all the way over.
Oh, thank you for catching that. So I did about 5 or 6 rows of this, and it's finally enough to where I can put in the cast on. So as you can tell, you can see that the cast on has it pulled up. So when you have it long enough, you're just going to take your knitting hook and you're going to pull off the cast on, pull it through the little gap, the opening. You are then going to take it and just tighten it, make it into a knot. And as you go, you are going to just weave it into your scarf. You'll find like little openings and just push it through. And just weave it back and forth as your scarf gets long enough. Now, once you have it long enough and you're ready to finish it, have another one ready to go over here. This is how you do the cast off and how you finish your scarf. So it is finished on this end. So I will take the end that I finished on with my knitting hook and drag it to the one directly across from it. You're going to want to take your slack and just tighten it up. Keep it nice and tight. And then you'll take the bottom one and lift it over the top one that you just put on. Push that down. You will then take your slack and you're going to wrap on the outside. You're going to wrap on the outside on the right side of it around to form a circle around it. And then again, you're going to take the bottom. You're going to want to keep it high enough. You're going to take the bottom and go over the top. And then you'll take that one and go directly across. And you will complete that until you get to the end, which let me do that real fast. And you can make it as short as you want, as long as you want. I did a child size one. Oops, wrong side. There we go. Yeah. You just wrap it around, lift it over. Directly across. And of course, I expect everyone to pause at the point until you get to the point where you have your scarf long enough. Come back and watch this part. Again, you're just going to wrap it around on the right outside, and then you take the bottom one and lift it over the top. And then you take the bottom, drag it directly across, diagonally across, and lift the bottom over the top, push down, wrap around, directly across, pull tight. You want to pull tight, you don't want any slack on that part. And then on the right side and over. And this is what this is doing, is it's building the close of the scarf. And sometimes it'll be a little tight, and you'll just maneuver it with your hook and your fingers to make it go over the other hook. And when you get to blankets and stuff, it takes forever to do the cast off, honestly. I think it takes me about a good hour to finish a blanket, like finish the cast off on one. Almost done here. Or we're partway through, halfway through. My camera friend is looking bored as ever at us right now. But I know a lot of my friends and family have asked me to do this so that they can learn how to knit, because I have made pretty much all of my nieces and nephews something knitted. Both of my nieces here have blankets that I've knitted for them. Actually, Jasmine here got my very first blanket that I ever knit. Oh wait, no, Layla did. Yeah. My other niece Layla got it. I did a black and pink one. She got that one, and then yours was next. But they were the first. They're pretty much the first two to get any of my brand new crafts that I have done. They're my kind of like test subjects on whether it's really good or eh. So we're almost getting done here. And I'll do more videos on what else you can knit or how else you can knit some items. Tons of different things, tons of different kinds of looms. I honestly prefer the looms. I've told you why. They're awesome. They're very inexpensive, sturdy. You want to make sure you get one that has a flat head and not an oval type of head, because it has a hook underneath and it'll make it very difficult for you to lift your yarn and push it down because it gets stuck under that hook. I tried to use some of these newer knitting looms, and that's what happened to me, and I found it very irritating, so I just searched for these again until I could find them. But Michael's, Joann's, even Walmart has these, so these are very popular and very easy to find. We're almost done here. A couple more loops. Okay. And you might want to start off with a small one like this until you get your holding down, so you can learn how to hold it properly. Alright, so we are now going on to the last one, the last loop, as soon as I put this over. Okay, so this is going to be the last loop. You're going to take, again, you're going to take it, you're just going to put it over on top of the other one. You're going to do the exact same thing you have done for all of them. Make sure it's nice and tight. You'll take the bottom, lift it over to the top, go on the right outside, wrap it around, hold with your other finger, lift it over, and there you go. Once you've done that, you will then take your hook and lift off the last circle. If you have more yarn than this little tail, you will go ahead and cut it to the desired length. You want to keep the loop, because what you're going to do is you're going to make this into your knot. What you're going to do is you're just going to take your tail and push the yarn through to make an end knot. And you're going to push that knot down so it's as close to the end as possible, so that it kind of hides into the scarf. And I usually just double knot it just for safe measures, and then pull this tail. And then once you have finished it and you have your tail, can you hand me the scissors, please? You are then going to take your scissors and cut the tail off.
They have different scissors.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I'm using whatever I could find at the house. It did cut a minute ago. There we go. And then all you're going to do is take your tail, and like you would with your cast on, you are going to weave it into your scarf until it's no more. Alright, see? And it's gone. Alright, well, that is my video for tonight. If there's any crafty stuff you guys like to learn, just let me know and I would be glad to do a video on it. Other than that, have a good night.